Happy weekend, brunchers! I am Bailey Minogue, and this is Too Much for Brunch. Thank you for joining me again. Today I'm going to talk about something that's a little bit more serious than what I've previously covered. Throughout this week, there's been so much talk about Rachel D and whether she's black or not. Well, I guess she's just not, so there's that.
Edit. And
before I get into what I feel on this, I would like to preface this with two things. One, I'm only speaking from my experience. Where I am black, I am not a black woman, and the experience is different than it would be for a woman. So I'm speaking from my perspective and fully understanding that I'm a man. And the second thing I'd like to say is that anyone who knows me knows that I will call white people out on their nonsense at any place, at any time. I do not suffer white foolishness at all. I don't like racial things, and I don't like racial jokes. I don't like my blackness being taken lightly. I am what a lot of people would call an angry black man, and I'm kind of okay with that. Because a lot of times white people don't understand that what they're saying might not be hurtful, but it still contributes to an ongoing construct of white supremacy. And that is, I'm not here to argue about that. That is what America has been built on, where white people are at the top of their pyramid and everyone else falls somewhere else, and that is what the country has been founded on. Moving on to Rachel. I honestly don't take that much offense to her. I think it would be better if a lot more white people felt the way she feels about blackness and about being African American. She's not making a mockery of us. She carries herself respectfully and has done a lot for the African American community. She replied that we are all from Africa, meaning that we are all of African descent. That means all Americans will be African Americans. And I feel, personal opinion, I really feel Rachel is the closest thing to someone honestly being post-racial. Now, the deal with that is that everyone is saying that she can just decide to be white and go back to being white, which is a white privilege, because I obviously cannot be white. I can't say one day, like, I feel white today, but why would I do that? I don't think anyone has a white awakening. That's not real life. But I do honestly believe that Rachel, in her life, my opinion, again, had some sort of black awakening. That sounds terrible. Black awakening sounds ridiculous, but I can't think of a better way to say it. Let's just say she had a spiritual revelation. A spiritual revelation where she really realized that we are all from Africa. If all white people could understand and accept the fact that we all come from Africa, then there wouldn't be so much division. That is a huge part of the problem with people saying we're post-racial, because a lot of times when people say post-racial, that usually means white. But she went the other way with that, and yes, she adopted blackness, but I feel like adopting blackness is maybe the wrong way to word it. I feel like she really understands her roots, and if she rejected the notion of white supremacy and rejected the notion of white people being the originators of everything, and in her heart really accepted the fact that all of this comes from Africa, I think that is a step in the right direction. It's not saying that Iggy Azalea gets a pass to be a fucking and be whatever kind of caricature that she sees of black people. Rachel D came into her black awakening when she was 17. So that means she went through college considering herself someone of African descent. She got scholarships and has a job that could have went to someone who is black, but it went to her. And I could see the problem with that. If you're taking scholarships away from people who do not have the white privilege that Rachel was born with, then that does create a problem. But on the other side of that, as someone who went to college and is black, I know what it feels like to be a college student and be excelling in your field and have people telling you that you're not because you're black. Every step of the way, someone was telling me that I wasn't good enough because I was black. Everyone, from my professors to my peers to guidance counselors, always took away from my accomplishments because I was black. I even had an instance in where I was in class once and this woman called me out and said something about me being from the inner city, and then commented on something about my family not having college degrees. And I was like, bitch, one, my mother has a doctorate, and my grandmother, who raised me, also went to college. And bitch, I am from the suburbs. I never lived in the inner city. That's not even it wasn't what I was doing or what I was saying or how I was carrying myself. It was black. She saw black. And when people see black, they attack it. And that's what happens. So if Rachel went through college presenting herself as someone of African descent, that means she did experience that struggle, at least in those years. And for me, as a black man, again, not black woman, for me as a black man, the most racist times I've ever had were in college. Except for when I go to gay bars. What I really would like to say for you to all take away from this is I feel like we shouldn't give her such a hard time until she really speaks and explains her side of things, because right now we're just jumping to conclusions. I honestly do feel Rachel is a really good example of what a post-racial society would look like. And the only way that will ever happen is if white people stop sucking their collective dicks and understand that Africa is where life originated. Period. At the very least, I hope that we can agree that Rachel Zoe is not a bad person. Even if she's misguided, I don't think she's a bad person. Nothing she's done has been malicious. She's done a lot in the last few years working for the NAACP. And there's not many white people who would willingly give up their white privilege and live their life and deal with what we deal with on a regular basis. So that's all for now. My birthday is coming up on Monday, so I will be back with you guys next weekend, and I'm sure I will have some lovely stories to tell. And I'm gonna lighten things back up next week. Sorry to get all serious with you this one time, but every now and then we all need to have these kinds of discussions. Don't forget to subscribe, leave me a comment, or tweet me. I am available for discussions about this and any other video that I've posted. Don't forget to check out toomuchforbrunch.com. I will be updating all week, even though I will be a bit hungover. Even though I will probably be hungover for the next few days. I'll see you guys next weekend. I think we should really try and hear her out. No one has really given her a platform to tell her side of this. Hey, I'm recording a video. Text me.